Originally the pond wasn't here, this would have been a creek of the Truro River. So all of Boscawen Park itself was all riverbed, and that's been built up as a municipal waste site. The City Council is now looking to dredge the pond out. The reasonings behind that is the fact is that we've got a huge build up of silt. You'll see here we've got a couple of ducks swimming here, but the ducks at the in the far distance there, they're actually stood on top of the mud, so the water levels themselves are very, very low. They're obviously a little bit deeper as you go further down. So the duck pond itself is got a silt trap, which you'll see behind me here on the right hand side, and basically that silt trap is there for collecting all the silt that comes down from the valley. So there's two tributaries that actually fill this duck pond. One of them originates in our current cemetery fields, and the others come down from Park Farm. And basically the silt trap is designed to actually, as the water comes in, it actually filters down. Now unfortunately the silt trap hasn't been emptied out now for about 12 or 13 years, and the last time it was done, it was excavated by an excavator, and it was that deep they had to lower a mini excavator in a bigger excavator down into the bottom of the silt trap to empty the bottom. So they literally excavated it out, put it into the bucket of the bigger excavator, and then took it off in lorries. So we're looking at various options to be able to dredge this. We're going out to tender now, and we're having different contractors come in with different ideas. We've had the looks at like stirring it up and pumping it out into like slurry tankers. We're looking at suction excavators. We're actually looking at main excavators, and also there's a company from Holland that dredge estate ponds and rivers, and they do that by a tugboat, which they drive up and down with a cutter, which is actually quite low impact on the wildlife, because obviously the wildlife moves away. If we do it with excavators, what we have to do is excavate it out, leave it on the side of the pond to allow any wildlife to actually go back into the pond. So any sort of eels or elvers or anything like that will then be able to transfer itself back in to allow that to dry out before it's then removed. One of the key priorities is protecting the wildlife. There's an ecology survey that needs to be taken as part of the tendering process, and obviously we want to try not to disrupt the wildlife too much. After it's all done, obviously you won't see the sludge here that we've got. You won't see all the sticks and things that are actually sticking up in the air. The ducks will actually be able to swim all the way along the whole of the pond, as well as the swans. But also we want to carry out repairs to all the edges. As you'll see, the edges around the sides, they've all started to tumble in over the years. That was all constructed in the early 80s. So yeah, we want to do quite a bit of works there. We're also thinking about putting a secondary pipe in, so that on high flood waters we can actually bypass the water down a pipe and it's directly out into the river rather than into the pond, which would actually reduce down the amount of silt that also would come back into the pond.